There we go. Hi, everybody. Jack O'Malley. Last time I sat with this view of the Capitol, the sun was streaming in and I had to drop the blinds. Today, a cloudy day, no such issues today. Hey, I hope you're well. Lots of things happening, of course, in the Capitol, in Lansing. I will say that we're working on our child care bills. You know, several things got stopped because of COVID and the short year last year and all of that stuff. So reintroduced our school bus safety bills. They will be headed off to the Judiciary Committee, hopefully to get a hearing ASAP. Our child care bills we're trying to work and tweak on and move forward. In transportation, one of the areas that I want to focus on, of course, is fixing the roads. And there were things left over from last year that I want to keep moving, and I'm focused on that. I'm talking with the appropriations people and those sorts of things. So I want you to know that with everything that's going on, those are my focuses, and that's what I'm working on. And I take being chair of transportation very seriously. Some other issues this week. Our appropriations committee had a hearing where they brought in MIOSHA. And they said their concerns are that this very hard enforcement on businesses with the COVID issue is instilling fear into businesses, schools, and nonprofits. Chair Van Workum said, I believe this is, as we've said, shaming. And he told the director of MIOSHA that the committee, we can see the fear that you are, or can you see the fear that you're creating? And the director said no, that they didn't see it that way. They see it as enforcing the safety issues because the complaints have been pouring in with COVID issues. And that doesn't surprise me because if you remember, when we talked about small businesses and whatnot, when the governor instituted all these rules, which of course were set aside by the 45 law and the Supreme Court ruling, but now she's gone to MIOSHA and Department of Health and Human Services to do this, that when you put small business into the enforcement, you're putting them in a terrible, terrible position. I return to the mask issue. You can't wear a mask. You're not wearing a mask. You can't come in. Well, I have asthma. Well, prove it. You know, those kinds of things. It was crazy. So now here we are. These small businesses are getting fined. They're worried. You get a note from MIOSHA. That's not a good thing. Representative Leitner wanted to know why all of a sudden they're putting out press releases with the names of these businesses. Last year they sent out one press release. MIOSHA did. Since August they've sent out 5. So are you doing that just to put pressure on these businesses and put fear in their heart? And it's a good question because, you know, Department of Health and Human Services and MIOSHA have been being used as a hammer. And I know that there's the health issue. Of course there's the health issue. But how you enforce it, where do you use common sense are important. And I appreciate the subcommittee looking at that. Representative Fink asked if enforcement actions taken prior to October 2nd's state Supreme Court decision that ruled the governor, and now we have this rolling 28-day emergency orders, are scrapped as criminal citations issued prior, would they be dropped? And he said those cases are in the appeal process. So we'll see how that all plays out. So it's a bureaucratic pain in the neck. Let's see here. On elections, remember we had Chair Bolin in a couple weeks ago to talk to her about things. Well, her committee is firing up. There are some proposals that are already out there. A couple of House bills would require the Secretary of State to remove voters from the qualified voter file who did not respond to a mailing notifying them that they have a placeholder birth date. If they don't hear from you, you're off the rolls. Another bill from Rep. Julie Kelly would require that the Secretary of State post the names of clerks who have not completed required training. Again, oversight. Let's see here. Where else? A couple other bills would make it a felony to file a fraudulent absentee voter ballot application or using person's name or ID. The bill would also make it a felony to fill out an absentee voter ballot application with the intent to obtain multiple ballots. So those are good things. We'll see how the hearings go and where all that heads out. The other thing that I think is important is going back to something I said a few weeks ago, is that the budget issue right now is being discussed. And tomorrow, Thursday, the governor is going to introduce her version of the budget. The Senate introduced their version here the other day. And if you remember 10 days ago or whatever it was, the House did. And remember what I told you at that time. I said, we are being very deliberate with what issues we are appropriating money for, because that's how you get the governor's attention. And I said, get ready, because they're going to squeal. And what have we been hearing? You're withholding money. You're doing this. You're doing that. So what does the governor say here? When she says, the governor said this meting the dollars is foolish because it undermines Michigan in its ability to stay at the top of the supply chain. She added, I'm not sure that aspect is really appreciated. She wants us to appropriate all this federal money at once. Well, if we do that, then we don't have any control over it, and the governor can do what she wants. And here's the crazy thing about this. Call me crazy, but why is it wrong if the governor and the legislature, House and Senate, have a discussion about how this money is being spent? You know the old line, I'm from the government, I'm here to help, trust me? Well, Governor, we just blank check, here you go, take the billions of dollars from the feds and do what you want. It's a two-way street. What are you doing for me? What are you addressing the needs that I have? And if doling out this money, all that money, they talk about we're going to lose this money. No, we're not. We're not going to sit on it until it expires. The point is, we just didn't give it to you all at one lump sum. And that's what you're used to. Well, I'm sorry. We want to have some say. You come talk to us. Like I say, it's like a high school kid who wants $100 from mom or dad because I really need this. Well, okay. How about you take out the trash? You know what I mean? How about we talk here? But that's not how the governor wants to do it. She wants to push her way through and go forward. So I just want you to know, as you're going to hear some things, I'm sure tomorrow when the budget comes out, you're going to hear the governor squawking. We got to do this. We got to do that. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's discuss. Let's negotiate. We'll give you some of this. You give us some of that. That's how the system works. All right. So that's just a quick update on things that are happening in the Capitol. Maybe not the most exciting day, not the flashiest stuff, but I guess what I hope you see here is that we are working. We're holding oversight over MIOSHA. Come in. Education Committee. We had them in following up on sports in schools and how the schools are handling it. The election committee is working. So when you say we're do nothing, we're do this, we're do that, or someone says that, I want you to know that we are doing what we are able to do. We're following up. We're putting pressure on the governor. And if you hear her squawk tomorrow, you'll know that we're pinching her and getting her attention, because we need to discuss and we need to negotiate. So again, tonight, I just want you to know we are doing what we're supposed to do. We are doing what we can do. I know it's not always the most timely, just exactly what you want, but we're doing what we can, how we can legally. And that's important. All right. So with that, I leave you for tonight. I'll be back with you on Friday, unless something happens in between. Again, I haven't said this in a while, and I should. I say my prayers for this state and this country all the time. Let's say our prayers. A reverend from my district texted me this morning and said he was praying for me, and that means a lot. So keep praying. I'll keep praying for you. You keep praying for me, and we're going to get through this thing. I know we will. Have a good night.